Now we're heading to the Bonneville Salt Flats. I was invited to do the announcing in 1959 at Bonneville, and I sat up in the timing stand with Otto Crocker about the 2-mile mark. I felt kind of guilty taking money for it because I enjoyed my first experience at Bonneville so much, but however, I did take the money. Money talks. The Bonneville Salt Flats is so huge that you can actually see some of the faster cars disappear over the horizon as they shut down. They kind of follow the curvature of the earth. Mickey Thompson had his 4-engine streamliner up there the year I was up there. During the speed week, he was running test runs, and he was running about 350 or 60 miles an hour then, and he went 406 later during his own speed week. This T-Bird right here, you think it's a T-Bird? Started out as a 55 T-Bird. They had a few changes made along the way on it. He was running about 230 miles an hour. Notice the side on this road trail, they pull it apart so they can get access to rear end transmission and whatever. Streamliners, when they run, they automatically qualify to run the full 5-mile course. But you have to go, anybody else would have to qualify over 175 to be able to run the full 5-mile course. Normally, like 61 Ford I had up there, we ran the 2-mile course. This 61 Ford coming up right now had the big Interceptor engine in it. He was the same class I was. He was running about 155 with his, and we ran 153 with mine. Little Mercedes are run by Gus Stallings. They had a Ferrari up there one year, not this year, but the year before. And as I mentioned earlier, they blew it. And it's going to take them probably a year to get all the parts for it. Here's Bob Rossetti's Roadster. This is the one we had the camera on at El Mirage Dry Lake. He held the record in 1963 at 222 miles an hour with this car. Bob Higbee, you got a brief glimpse of Bob Higbee right there. He was the starter for many years at El Mirage Dry Lake, and I think now he just does the starting at Bonneville. Bob's really one of the old timers. This Lakester, way back then, this is about 61, was run by Chuck Hammond. The car, I was at Bonneville in 94. This car was up there, where a fellow named Chuck Hammond was driving it. And in 94, they went 261 miles an hour with this car. However, I don't know if Chuck was the owner back then, but I know the car had been around for a long time. That Dodge sedan just took off. Right here is run by Norm Thatcher. He ran consistently over 170 miles an hour. To establish a record, you got to run a 2-way average. And all the records run are done early in the morning before the regular time trials. This belly tank here, number 360, is run by the Markley brothers. It set a record of 250 miles an hour and one-way speed of 280. That car was at the 94 Bonneville meet, only with different owners, and they were running up 250 to 280. This streamliner here, run by Arfons, is an Allison engine in it, went 313 miles an hour in that streamliner you just saw a second ago. Notice where the driver has to, he looks out through the front, the plexiglass front on this belly tank. Beautiful workmanship on this car. Sickles, back in 61, we're running 175, 180. I understand now the record's up over 200 miles an hour. A little later in the video, you're going to get a picture of this car right here going end over end with Joe LaCosta driving. This Studebaker number 345 is run by John Edmonds. Had a supercharged Chrysler and went 232 miles an hour. One of the fun things about Bonneville is to be up at the 2 or the 5 mile mark and listen to cars make the runs. You can hear them start, go through the gears, and then go past you wide open, really cranking on. Running at Bonneville is altogether different than the drags. It drags, you know, 2 cars at a time. About every 30 seconds you get a runoff. But at Bonneville, 1 car at a time, and you have to wait till the car that went through cleared the trap. Now, if you have a fast car, it goes through, he's off the trap pretty quick. But a slower car takes quite a bit of time. But they still have to wait until everything is clear. And it's kind of a relaxed atmosphere and a lot of camaraderie. I know that people have borrowed engines from the competition, borrowed tires, and it's really quite a different atmosphere than the drag races. This number 327 Corvette was run by Brian Chichua, and Brian has a Jeep agency right now in Anaheim, California. Here we have another Arfons car. This is jet-powered. He starts off kind of slow, but once he gets going, he had the top time of 330 miles an hour. Took a little bit to get moving, but once he starts going, boy, he disappears in a big hurry down the salt flat. When you see the fastest cars run, if you watch them in your binoculars, they'll actually disappear from view over the curvature of the earth. Probably the only other place you could do this is Lake Garner in Australia, where you can actually see the curvature of the earth. You're probably going to notice there's a lot of 53 Studebakers up at Bonneville, as well as El Mirage Dry Lake. This Streamliner 147, run by Bob McGrath, Don Hammond, and Roger Witt. Bob does the driving. They believe that to be the first single-engine car to go over 300 with a two-way average of 202 and a one-way time of 326. Good shot of the Markley car right there. The Streamliner was called a Redhead because his wife had red hair. We'll be up at the finish line here in a few minutes, and you'll see the Studebaker going to flip, and also you'll see Jim Lindsey loop his Roadster out, but he doesn't flip. He just spins it out, rides it out, goes back, checks the tires, and makes some more runs, and the Roadster, you see spin out, eventually went 180 up there. The Studebaker loses at about 180. That'll be coming up very shortly. The fastest single-engine car at Bonneville has been by Al Teague. The fastest single-engine car of over 430 miles an hour. The fastest time ever recorded is a rocket engine car, I should say, by Gary Gabelich at 622 miles an hour. Most of the cars up there run parachutes, but if you don't have a parachute, or if it breaks on you, fails to open, you still have plenty of room to shut off in. So one nice thing about Bonneville is the fact that if you do have a problem, the parachute fails to open, you got all sorts of salt ahead of you to get shut off in. All of the cars that run at Bonneville, they have a very strict inspection before they're allowed to run. Roll bars, make sure I have all the safety equipment is on them, because the cars have the potential some of these cars can turn up there, and if they do lose it, they want to give the driver every chance you can to come out of it okay. Have to have fire bottles in the engine compartment and other places in the car where the driver can trigger it. While he's making a run, if a fire starts, he can trigger the fire bottles. They have arm restraint, so if he does lose it, his arms won't flail over his head. They've had some pretty serious accidents up there. Last year, a Corvette lost at well over 200 miles an hour, destroyed the car, and the driver was injured pretty seriously, but he came out of it okay. He's still around. That's the main thing. This car right here, run by Bill Burke, has had an Oldsmobile engine in it. They had a two-way average of 206 miles an hour and went 216 one way with that sports car, number 88. Little car starting out right there is the one that I told you is still around in 94. And we're doing the voiceover on this right now in 95. Arfons jet flower car. I didn't get too long a shot on him because it looks like he's not going anywhere. But on another shot, once he starts moving, he disappears in a big hurry. There aren't too many drivers up there that can run jet cars. Arfons is a qualified jet pilot. I believe that's the only reason the insurance will let him drive the car, the fact that he's had experience with jet engines. Gets off to a slow start, but once he hit the afterburner, he's gone. There, he hit the afterburner. Watch this Studebaker. He's got a little bit of a problem right here. Joe LaCosta flipped his car, went end over end sideways about 4 or 5 times, finally came to a grinding, crunching halt on all 4 wheels. Unfortunately, I ran out of film. I didn't get a chance of him jumping out of the car. He was okay. He jumped out of the car and waved to everybody. This roadster runs a blown Chrysler on gas, run by Jim Lindsey, longtime member of SCTA. We're going to go back to the finish line and get a picture of him spinning out right after this car. He spun it out. He was going about 175, 80. He spun the car out. You'll get a picture of him waving at us after he kind of gets the car straightened out. One thing about Bonneville you have to watch out for, they have dinosaurs out there. Dinosaurs. Sometimes they come down from the hills. And Jim's going to have to watch it because there's some dinosaurs out there. And he'll wave at us. Hey, look out, here comes one. Here comes one. Oh, I hope Jim didn't see that, and got away from it. There goes the big dragonfly. This is Don Tuttle signing off.